Hey guys, I'm really excited to have you here and to be taking part in this 7-day journey. My name's Benny Gorell and I'm a men's mindset coach. I coach men in the areas of health, wealth and sex. So I'm really honored to be your guide and guru for the next 7 days and teach you what it takes to become a cognitive master and to really take control of your life in several separate areas. Now, the reason I created this is because I feel as though everyone wants to be in control of their life, but not many people are. Now, there are really only two ways that you can go about your whole life. And one way is to be proactive. The other way is to be reactive. One way is to be the creator of circumstance. And the other way is to be a creature of circumstance. And to simply get blown around by the wind and become a victim. Now, I created this 7-day free training to give you the basic tools and steps that you need to take in order to become the creator. In order to strap on that leadership mentality and to become the dictator of your whole life. Right, so let's get into it. Today I really want to talk to you about how you start the day, because how you start the day has a dramatic effect on how you progress moving throughout the day, which ultimately has an effect on how you finish the day. Now, mastering your life and being in control of your life really just starts with the simple steps that you take in this moment. And so in order for us to master our life, we must master a year, a month, a week, a day. We just need to focus on mastering the next step, right? So taking that next step is mastering your mornings. We don't want to look at the big picture and say, how can I be the controller of the next 20 years of my life? It's a big task, right? And how would you eat an elephant? When I often ask people that, how would you eat an elephant? It's simply by taking one bite at a time. And so in order for you to be the master and the controller of your life, you really just need to take this one step at a time. And we're going to start by taking control of our mornings. Now again, you can really start the mornings, start the day in two separate ways. You can wake up and you can be a victim. You can be the reactionary version of yourself. Or you can wake up and be the leader and be the proactive version of yourself. Now, a lot of people tend to wake up in the morning and the first thing that they do is they wake up with all of these crazy thoughts coming through their mind, like I can't be bothered with today, I don't want to go to work, I hate this. And they jump on social media. They'll check Facebook or Instagram and they'll see what everyone else is up to in the world. Now, when you do this, when you check what everyone else is doing, you're essentially becoming reactionary. Because rather than dictating what you want from your life, you're saying, what is Davo up to? What is Susie up to? What you're saying is their lives are more important and what they're up to in the world is more important than what you want to set up and create for yourself. Now, granted that your life might not be where you want it to be right now. You might not have all the things that you want. And so therefore you're not thinking of all the things that you've got. You're thinking about, gee, wouldn't it be nice to have that? That's great, but that won't get you there. What will get you there is deliberate and intentional action by starting your day in a proactive way and saying, what do I need to do in order to have what I want out of my life? So rather than waking up and checking social media and then reacting to what's happening in the world and saying, gee, that's bad what just happened, over in America, or geez, it's great what Dave's up to, I'm a bit jealous, Susie's on a holiday, and comparing yourself to all of these things and then deciding how you want to act throughout the day by being reactionary and saying, well, now I'm happy, now I'm sad, now I'm depressed, now I'm envious, now I'm jealous because of all of these things that I'm looking at external, all these things that are beyond me, and then setting yourself up from that way. We want to really take control of our mornings. That is where you start. Take it like this. Every day is a fresh day. Every day is a fresh start to go after all the things that you want. Now imagine that, yesterday never happened. Last week, last year never happened. And every time you wake up, it's like a blank slate and a blank canvas. And you have two choices. You can make it yours, or you can continue to live just being washed around and be the victim of circumstance and just be the backdrop in somebody else's movie. But I really want you to start stepping up and taking control. So here's what we're going to do. These are the keys to starting your day in a really productive way. Now, I know it seems like a big list, but when I break it down to you, you can do all of these in just 15 minutes. And that's what I want to get you to, a point where you're taking control in your life, but in a really fast, short, simple manner. Now, the first thing we want to do is start our day off with some gratitude, right? Because gratitude is really the antidote to all fear. You can be scared of something, or you can be grateful for what you've got. You can have a feeling of loss. You can be in scarcity, or you can be in gratitude and abundance. Now, we have really two ways to wake up. We can wake up and we can say, my life sucks. Things aren't the way that I want it to. to be. And when you're looking at your life in that perspective, you're looking at all the things that you don't have. And from that place, you create yourself a scarcity mindset where you say, I don't have this, I don't have that. And when you're looking at your life from that perspective, it's really difficult to see the way out and to really take control of what you want, because now again, you're a victim. I don't have this, I don't have this, my life sucks because of this, I hate my job because of this. And so gratitude's not just one of these spiritual practices where we, tap into this infinite source of grace and gratitude and ease. But really what it is, it's shifting our perspective from being reactionary to proactive, from scarcity to abundance. So the first thing you really want to do is wake up and just think of at least one thing. If you can think of 3 things or 10 things, that's great. But really all I'm asking for you is for you just to think of one thing you're grateful for. It could be your partner that's lying next to you in bed. It could be the house that you're sleeping in, the bed that you have, the food that you have in the cupboard. It could be your car that you're using to drive to work. It could be the job that you have which pays for your bills. Anything. But the second you become grateful, you drop out of scarcity and you say, you know what? Look what I do have. Look what I do have. That's a powerful place to come from, because now all of a sudden you're saying, look what I've got. Not, oh my God, I'm lacking this. So the first thing you want to do is some sort of gratitude practice. And realistically, this can take 30 seconds. You could just close your eyes and say, what's one thing I'm grateful for? I'm really grateful for my children. And just think about your children for 30 seconds and say, wow, I'm lucky. Wow. That's really, really powerful. It's a really powerful place to come from. And when you're coming from a place of gratitude, you're going to see things differently. The second place we want to go is to a place of silence. Now, the average human has 60,000 thoughts going through their mind per day. And 90% of those are automatic, 80% of those are negative. So it's really important that we create space in our mind. The way I like to explain this is, you imagine a cup. An empty cup is useful. A full cup is not. A cup is only useful because of the space, the container that it holds, right? And so your mind is only useful if there's space in it and there's room for you to have deliberate and intentional thoughts. When we wake up, our mind starts racing about all the things that have happened, all the things that could happen or should happen throughout the day, all the things that we're lacking. So taking a few moments to yourself to just be in total silence and just to clear that space, to declutter your mind and to let yourself have the room to be intentional and deliberate can have a massive and dramatic impact on your day. So there's plenty of apps out there like Headspace, an Insight Timer, apps like that. You can go on YouTube and do guided meditations. If you want more help on this, reach out to me personally and I'll be happy to send you some more links. But for the sake of this, I just want you to understand that taking 3 to 5 minutes even, the first thing in the morning, can have dramatic effects on your day where you just sit in silence and you just tune into yourself, into your body, into your feelings, into your surroundings, into your awareness, and just be totally present in the moment rather than wake up and have all these thoughts going through your mind. The third thing we want to do is create an empowering affirmation for ourselves. So a lot of people have a negative thought like, I'm not good enough, or why does this always happen to me? And again, a positive affirmation can kind of tie back into gratitude, where we're saying, I am grateful for this, or I am powerful, I am confident. And it's dropping back out of that scarcity and lack, and then pulling us into an empowering, positive state where we're proactive in going about our day. So we drop into, something that's really strong and resonates with us. Now, if you have a belief or a constant mantra that you tell yourself, things never go my way, or I'm just not good enough, or I suck, or whatever it is, replace that. Just create something that's alternative to that, an empowering affirmation. So if your belief is, I'm not good enough, create an affirmation that says I was born good enough, or I'm always good enough. As long as I try my best, I'm definitely good enough. Anything that switches from that negative mindset, that negative thought, into a powerful, empowering, positive one. That's what we need to do with first thing in the morning is, instead of letting our brain take control, our unconscious start running all of these negative patterns, which is totally standard, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. What we really want to do is intentionally and deliberately think of something that empowers us. So rather than wake up and being in this victim mode and this beta mindset where it's like, you know what, life sucks and I'm just an idiot and things never go my way. We want to wake up, we want to be grateful, we want to get silent, then we want to say, I'm freaking powerful. I am strong, I am confident. Whatever it is that resonates with you, you want to say that to yourself over and over again in the morning, right? Now, a really powerful way to do this is to combine it with the exercise, which we'll talk about in a second. But create yourself a powerful affirmation that really resonates with you, and it's the opposite of what you may naturally think or the disempowering belief that you may naturally have. We want to really get into that, creating a life for ourselves, creating an image for ourselves by choosing the thoughts that we want to believe. The fourth thing is to visualize. Now, I'm sure that you've got something in your life that you want to improve. Now, it could be your relationship, it could be money, it could be your career, whatever it is. I want to take a couple of moments just to visualize what you want in your life, panning out exactly how it should be, how you feel as though it should be. Now, our mind can't tell the difference between what we imagine and what we literally experience in real life. Obviously, consciously, you're like, well, that's what I thought of, that's what I visualized, and this is real life. But our actual brain, the chemistry, the neuro pathways in our brain can't tell the difference. So quite often we have this vision for our future where we want something to go a certain way. But subconsciously, we might have a belief that it's not possible for us. When you visualize something is happening, is going your way, you actually imprint and embed into your brain the fact that it's possible, that it could happen. And then through the law of attraction, what we focus on, we feel more of, we attract toward. Where energy goes, energy flows, right? So if we choose to visualize what we want from our life in the morning, first thing, then we have the ability to control our mind and to say, you know what, this is possible and this is what I'm heading for. Rather than having this thought, which is like, I want to do this, but I don't really think it's possible. We take control and we say, you know what, it is possible and this is exactly how it's going to look. Now, most successful people will visualize things well and truly before they actually happen. In order for us to hold something in our hands, we must first hold it in our mind. So get crystal clear on exactly what you want to see and feel and have in your life. Maybe it's just the day. It could be 5 years, 10 years, it could be 1 year, but it could just be the day. You could just close your eyes and say, what do I really want from this day? And then visualize your perfect day planning out and saying, you know what, in order for me to have the perfect day, this is what needs to happen. And then take aligned actions to get there. Okay? Another key with visualization is to embody as much emotion and feeling with it as you can. Rather than sit there and say, you know what, this is what I want from my life. From this really emotionally detached place, we want to really get emotionally involved and say, oh my God, yes, look at what's happening in my life. Oh, I've got all this money, or I'm on this holiday, my children are doing this, whatever it may be. Smile and laugh and really embody the emotion that you would feel if that were actually truly happening. The more emotion you can embody into this, the faster it is to manifest into your life, because the secret to the law of attraction is embodying emotion. That's where vibrations come from. And when you can resonate on the vibration as already having something, then you attract it faster into your life. Now, the fifth thing that we want to embody is some exercise. Now, this doesn't mean the hour at the gym or whatever that's, going to be really beneficial for your life. That's great. And if you can do that, first thing, perfect. But what I'm really saying here is any sort of exercise to stimulate your body, your heart rhythm, get the blood flowing and the oxygen pumping through your body. Because when we've slept all night, we tend to be lying there and our body goes to sleep. Our organs go to sleep and they're not usually sure when to wake back up. So a simple thing that I like to do is just jumping jacks, some star jumps or push-ups for a couple of minutes. Literally, you could bang on a song, and throughout that song, you could just be doing jumping jacks or sit-ups or anything like that. And what that does is it just gets the blood flowing through your body. It gets the oxygen flowing through your body. It really just wakes you up. And all of a sudden, you're done and you're kind of like, oh, yes. It doesn't have to be half an hour, a walk, a run, or anything like that, because for a lot of people, they don't want to do that, or they're time restricted in the morning. What I'm trying to get you to do here is implement things that you can slide into your life with minimal distractions from your everyday routines as they are, and just start to do them with ease. So as opposed to saying, you know what, you need to get to the gym for an hour every morning, I'm just saying, you in your bedroom, in the comfort of your own home, you don't even need to leave. You just can do some jumping jacks or sit-ups, anything that gets your heart rate flowing, and that's going to have a massive dramatic effect on how you move throughout the day, right? Now we move down to reading. These are more what I would say optional as opposed to the G-Save. So what I really want you to look at here is this does spell G-Savers. Now the G-Save is really, really important, I feel, and the RS, the reading and scribbling, you can manipulate if you're running out of time, right? Because reading's not one of those things that you're going to get a massive effect out of if you're only doing it for 2 or 3 minutes. When we step into big morning rituals, which I talk about in my deeper programs and things, then we want to start embodying reading, which could be like 15 or 20 minutes. But for you just starting out, I don't want to recommend that you do that unless you have the time and you're really dedicated. But if you're pressed for time, we can do the rest of these in 15 minutes. The reading we could add on another 15 minutes, but that is really going to affect how you're thinking, because all knowledge comes from books, right? If you can read for 15 minutes a day, you can learn and download so much information and get your brain into that proactive state where you're learning, you're developing, you're growing. There's a massive benefits of reading books. And the average CEO or successful entrepreneur will read 60 books per year. So in saying that, I don't expect you to go out there and read a book a week, but at the same time, if you can slide this into your life, it's going to have dramatic effects on your productivity, on your knowledge, on your wisdom, on your confidence. So it's really good that you can slide some reading into your daily ritual. And the last thing is scribing or scribbling. So writing down your thoughts, journaling, getting the thoughts out of your head, writing down the things that you're grateful for, or writing down your affirmations. Scribbling or scribing is really good to get the thoughts out of our head. When we have a thought that we haven't processed yet, or we haven't created an intentional action for, then we tend to create an open loop. Now, an open loop is essentially a thought in your mind that doesn't have a conclusion. You don't have an end to it. You don't have an action step to it. So it's an open thought, which is like, I need to work on creating more finances in my life. And when you think about that, but you haven't actually come up with a structure and plan, it's an open thought that just runs through your mind. And until you deliberately go and create an action plan for that, it stays in your psyche as an open loop. And everything that we have unresolved in our lives creates an open loop. The more open loops in your mind that you have, the more thoughts that you have, the more unresolved thoughts with no action plans, the more anxiety you can feel. So just by simply getting thoughts out onto a piece of paper, breaking them down, creating a plan, but even just getting them out, can really close the loop or get the loop out of your mind so that there's less resistance, there's less clutter. And again, it comes back to that silence where we're just taking all of the things out of our head that don't hold space, we're moving them onto a piece of paper and we're saying, you know what, now my brain's clear. So just to recap, gratitude, that can seriously take, 1 minute to close your eyes and think of something that you're grateful for. Silence, you could do this. Ideally, we want to look at 7 minutes plus, but even like 5 to 7 minutes is going to be good for you starting out. Eventually, you can move up to 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes as you get better and you start to really want to take control of your life. But for the sake of this, start by just doing 3 to 5 minutes of sitting there in silence. You can use any app that will help you to track your progress or anything like that. But realistically, we can do 1 minute, a couple of minutes, an affirmation that we combine with exercise. So you might put a song on that goes for 3 or 4 minutes, and while you're doing your jumping jacks, your star jumps, you could be jumping up and down and saying, I'm strong, I'm confident, I am strong, I am confident, I'm successful, I'm successful, I'm successful, and repeating this to yourself. So again, now we really have 1 minute, 3 minutes, we've got, say, 4 minutes, we've got the song, which is like 4 minutes, so that's like 8 minutes, and then visualize for a couple of minutes. So realistically, you're looking at like 10 to 15 minutes here, and then if you want to combine your reading and scribbling, you could push it up to half an hour. But the key with this is that there's no time limits or restrictions or things that you have to do. But if you can incorporate these 5 things into your morning ritual, rather than waking up and saying, you know what, I hate my life, and then coming from that reactionary place, if you can put your phone and social media to the side for the first hour of the day, be grateful. So you're setting that intention that you're going after the things that you want and you're happy with the way that your life is. You're in a gratitude state, in an abundant state. Your mind is clear and ready for you to think the thoughts that you want. Your affirmation is a thought that's chosen, which empowers you and states how strong and confident you are. The visualization sets the intention for what you want from your life and from your day. The exercise activates, rejuvenates, and excites your body moving for the day. The reading gives you the knowledge, the power, and the wisdom for you to do what you want through your life. And then the scribbling, again, clears the brain and then really gives you actionable steps to take. These are all of the things that you should be doing if you want to be intentional and deliberate throughout your day. The beta mindset is waking up and seeing what somebody else is doing and then revolving your life around them. The alpha mindset is saying, no matter what is happening in the world, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. This is what I'm going to do, what I'm going to achieve. So drop out of the beta, drop out of the victim, drop out of the creature of circumstance. Step into the alpha, the creator, the abundance mindset by taking control of your mornings. When you start your day like this, you'll feel so much more strength, so much more confidence, so much more courage, so much more action to take throughout your day. And you'll watch everything transform from this. Because if you go to work from this place, rather than going from that reactionary place, you're going to show up a whole different person. So your first thing that you must embody if you want to take control of your life is own your freaking mornings. These are the steps. Remember, G save or G savers. Embody this. Start your day like that. And just watch how you feel after one day, let alone a week, nor a month or a year. Watch your whole life shift. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'll talk to you then. Boom.